Yes, Tony and I have cooled down a little bit. Not to 100% level, but we're kind of level-headed right now as we're doing our pregame for Game 8 of the 2026 season. Trevor Howard, Tony LaMonica are here for another preview episode of Banditland Boulevard, in which I don't think is even remotely an outrageous statement whatsoever. This is a must-win game coming up this Saturday, February 7th at 7 o'clock p.m. against the Philadelphia Wings. Native American Heritage Night 2. We got the 1-6 Philadelphia Wings coming in the building, taking on the 3-4 Bandits. No other way to say it, Tony, but it is a must-win going into Saturday. If they lose to the 1-6 Wings, I think for the most part, curtains on the season.
Yeah, I mean, we not want to think that, though. We don't want to go 3-5 and lose to a team that only has won one game. And I don't know if the rumors are at home. And in the rumors of Philadelphia tanking, we don't know that for certain yet, but God forbid if it does happen. There are some players, I think, from that squad that could probably get us back in the rhythm again, but we won't talk about that. Right now we're talking about what we have to do against Philadelphia to, get out of this funk that we've lost 3 straight. And right now, this would be a perfect night to do so in front of your home crowd. Get back to basics and wake the F up, guys. Offensively, we cannot do a 9-goal night. That's not going to win you the game. You need 10-plus goals. That is your goal from here on out. You need 10-plus goals to win games, and the defense needs to smarten up fast. And that means protecting Vince at all times, but also give him the clarity to see him coming. That's the only thing they got to do. But this is a major wake-up notice. The alarm didn't go off just yet, but you lose to Philadelphia, all hands on deck, code red. Buffalo Bandits need to really wise up.
Absolutely. Blood in the water already going into this game. You got a Philadelphia team that's 1-6. You're going back to Banditland. You come off of 3 straight losses. The last time the Bandits lost 4 in a row was, I believe, the 2017 season, where they finished close to dead last, I believe. So we don't want a repeat of that. So we haven't seen that in almost a decade, the Bandits going on a 4-game losing streak. So we don't want to see that trend start to, happen now in the 2026 season. But go back to what was working before. You hope that the Colorado game was the ass kicking that the Bandits needed to kickstart some sort of a revolution there in the overall production of your offense, shut down defense, shut down goaltending. I remember the Toronto game from 2023 where they got their teeth kicked down their throat and they locked in, got the number 1 seed in the East, and they won the championship that year. 2024, losing to the worst team in the league, Vancouver, on the road. They never really turned their head around. I think they lost 1 game total the rest of the way. So maybe this was a game that they needed to just – that Colorado just needed to absolutely spank them to make them finally, open up their eyes and say, listen, we have a real problem on our hands here. It's time to fix it. It's time to fix it fast. But you got the overall scenario here. If you beat Philadelphia, you're likely back in the top 8 of the standings. So as long as you get into a playoff spot come Sunday morning, the Bandits, for all we know, coming off of 3 straight titles, they're back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they just have to get that confidence back and work together as one and not just be individuals again. The stars have to be stars. And really, that should be my end of discussion, but it's really not, because whatever they were doing, they just couldn't find a rhythm. They couldn't find a pattern to get back a chance to even come back against the Colorado Mammoth, and they got embarrassed. So, like you said, Trevor, this could be their wake-up call to finally go, okay, that's never going to happen again. We're going to have to wake up and do something about it. So this would be a perfect night to do so this Saturday coming up.
And it's gonna be a packed barn. It's not a Friday night game. It's gonna be a Saturday night game. They're giving out the new Native American jerseys. There's gonna be fans that are gonna be getting there early. I was looking at ticket prices for this game on secondary markets, and prices are up. So you know what? That's a clear indication of there's gonna be a lot of fans in that building. So expect a sellout crowd. I think it's gonna be a loud atmosphere there. And we need it to be loud. We got to have the 6th man on the floor if we want to go out there and get back to our winning ways, because Bandits haven't won a game in over a calendar month. Last time they won a game was January 3rd. We are recording this February 4th. It's been literally a month since the last time the Bandits won a game. It was the Las Vegas game. They won 15 to 13. So just got to get back in the winning ways. I would rather play Philadelphia now than, maybe either like the rest of the gauntlet that the Bandits have. This has to be the get back game. So thank God we're not playing like Vancouver or we're not playing Saskatchewan right now. If we were, I'd be a lot more nervous right now. But I don't know. Philadelphia doesn't have much to play for, really. They're 1-6. That roster is the management on that franchise is a complete dumpster fire. There's rumors about them relocating to a different city next season. Mm-hmm. The one thing that scares me about the Wings is that they have nothing to play for. And teams that have nothing to play for can be the most dangerous. They can play spoiler. Everybody, and I mean everybody, when the Bandits win 3 straight titles, everyone wants to get a piece of them, and everybody wants to watch their downfall, except for the Bandits players and the Bandits fans. Everybody else couldn't give a crap less. They want to see the Bandits lose. So if you don't think that they're going to be hyped up going into this Saturday thinking, hey, I know if we win this game, we'll be 2-6 and probably still tied for dead last in the league, but imagine what the Bandit fans are going to say if we go in there and beat them, or imagine what the Bandit players are going to think if we go in there and beat them and set them at 3-5. So they want to go in there. They want to play spoiler. There are a couple former Bandits on that team that are going to be a thorn in their side for sure. And we'll get into the players to watch, but
sure.
Sometimes in all sports, not just lacrosse, but you see this in the NFL all the time. When a team in week 18 just needs a win to advance to the playoffs, the team has nothing to play for, that's fighting for the second or first overall pick, goes in there and beats them because they have nothing to play for. That makes them the most dangerous.
Yeah, teams like you said, especially with nothing to lose, their record stands alone. So what are they going to do? They could be, like you said, the spoiler. And the only thing what can fear the most from a team that's struggling to a team that just doesn't have anything left to give. But Philadelphia has a chance to say, you know what? Let's go into Buffalo. Let's make a stand for ourselves. And if we could beat the Bandits in their barn, that could be a confidence boost we need to get out of the basement and really make them look like they're looking up while we're looking down at them. So Philadelphia has that, not the trap game, I would like to say, but also could be like the evil, ugly side of things. And you don't want to falter to the evil, ugly side. You want to get back on your heroic winning ways. And that's exactly what the champion should do. And not a lot of fans call you frauds for any reason. You go out there, you make a statement, and that's basically a good term to use from here on in. Whatever team you're playing against that night, let's just say, for example, we're playing Philadelphia this Saturday. You go in there, you make a statement. The next team you play, you make a statement. Every game from here on in, you should be playing pissed, aggressive, and angry, like you're ready to go, and that's nothing can stop you, boys. So don't do it for us. Don't do it for the fans. Do it for yourselves. Get that confidence back in you. That's what we want to see. Okay. Yep. But other than that, do it for you guys.
Do it for yourselves, because if you don't do it for yourselves and you end up losing this game, the Bandits will only be a game ahead of the Philadelphia Wings in the standings. If the Wings beat the Bandits, they will be 2-6. The Bandits will be 3-5. The Bandits would only be a game ahead of them, but Philadelphia will have the head-to-head tiebreaker over them.
That's right.
You got to think how close you are to being that close to dead last in the league right now. This has to be a must win. I don't care what anybody says out there. Oh, Trev, it's only week 8 or it's only game 8 and we play 18 of these games. No, if you lose to Philadelphia, you're probably in third last in the league with another tiebreaker given up and a losing home record. Cannot have that. This, I don't give a shit what anybody says. This has to be a must win no matter what. There's no other way to put it. I don't care how many games are left after this. Look at the gauntlet of the schedule. Look at the team that's coming into the barn this Saturday. The team that's in the basement of the league. They don't even know what city they're going to play in next year. Cannot lose to these guys at home, and that's where I'm going to leave it at. Players to watch, though, for Philadelphia.
Let's do it.
I mean, isn't it completely obvious the number one guy we have to look at? Hamburg native, 36-year-old, former Buffalo Bandit that wears number 15 for Philadelphia. Yep. Tell me I'm wrong when I say this, because I don't think I am. Joe Reza Terrence.
Yeah, Big Joe knows what he needs to do. And believe me, now that since Mitch Jones has transferred from Philadelphia over to Las Vegas, he's been the go-to guy to watch out for because he's their leader now. That's basically saying you want to beat Philadelphia, you got to go through him first. And then once you do, you can probably demolish the rest. But other than that, Joe Resetarits is one of those go-to guys that can still average 100 points a season. That itself tells you still how good he still can manage to play. Not only the game that he loves, but just the physicality, that, keeping himself in check, how healthy he is, and just knowing the keys of inside and out, every goaltender he's faced, every defense he's faced. He is such a smart individual by knowing how to beat you in every aspect of the game. And believe me when I say this, folks, if you don't shadow Joe Resetarits in this game, he's looking at like Jeff Teat. He's looking at like Andrew Q. He's going to have he'll get a sock trick if he has to help win this game.
Yep.
Well said on picking Joe Resetarits.
I think the last time, though, the Bandits played the Wings, the Bandits ended up beating them 19-14 at the KeyBank Center. And
that is correct.
Joe Resetarits, they got smoked on the scoreboard, but
his points
scored 4 goals, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think
he ended up with like 8 or 9.
Yeah, so 8 or 9 points on the night. I think he scored 4 goals. So
yes, he did.
Doesn't matter what the score is, he will find the back of the net quite a few times. And if Matt Vince wants to lock it down this week, that would be greatly appreciated. If the defense wants to step up and shut down their stars while our stars go out and dominate, that would be greatly appreciated as well. But Joe Resetarits is not a guy to sleep on, not a guy to, turn your cold shoulder to. He will burn you, and he'll find the back of the net with ease.
Yeah, agreed, because Joe knows what he has to do to get the job done. So
former Bandit, too. Scored a lot of goals in Buffalo.
Sure did. He's one of the all-time leading point goalers in our team, so why not?
Yep.
So I'd have to say for my pick, I'd have to look out for Brendan O'Neill, the rookie that has outshined a lot of people in the rookie class sessions the previous year. You want to talk about size and pushing people around and scoring goals? This is another guy you have to watch out for because he knows how to find the back of the net. He'll find any kind of goaltender's weakness, either short side, low to the feet, or even picking a corner up top shelf. It doesn't matter. The man knows how to pick. He picks his spot and he executes it with ease. And that's something you've got to make sure the defense is going to have to protect and watch, is make sure he doesn't get those opportunities. You limit him, maybe so. But if you allow him to go and play his game, he's got you by the balls.
And not only that, but finding the goalie's weaknesses. You don't think he's salivating at the mouth looking at Matt Vince's shoulders? Like, come on. That's where his eyes are going to be popping out of his head. If he sees an open side over his shoulder, night. Yeah, it's over.
Good night. Absolutely.
The third guy I want to look at, I want to switch it up a little bit on the fly because I know that we've been looking at Blaze Reardon a couple times, and he was also a former Bandit. He was a Bandit as a rookie. Didn't really he didn't make much noise in a Bandit uniform, but really shined once he went to Philadelphia. Fun fact, he is an outdoor goalie, but he plays transition in indoors, which is kind of funny. But the guy that I was looking at, speaking of goaltending, Nick Demood, we have to look out for him too. The Bandits have had some very good success against him. They've had a couple stinkers where maybe a lead would get away or so. The number one game that comes to mind is the Panther City game from a couple years ago where the Bandits had a goal lead late, and they ended up tying it and winning it in overtime. But he's very similar to that of Zach Higgins. Anything that's low, he's got a hard time stopping. So we got a lot of Bandit specialists who love to shoot the ball low. Kyle Buchanan, Dane Smith is a king of a bounce shot. Ian McKay likes to go low sometimes. So you got some killers. Clay Scanlon is a water bug and likes to shoot low too. So you got some guys that can really exploit the weaknesses of Nick Demood. And I mean, let's just be real. The last time the Bandits played the Wings, if you go back and watch those highlights, they weren't crazy goals. I mean, sure, the Bandits scored 19 times. So you're bound to have an ESPN type of goal, but a lot of them were like the down and dirty goals where they're just shoveling rebounds or shooting low. They're not the prettiest goals ever, but they're getting the job done.
Yeah,
we need a repeat of that. Matt Vince, his weakness is over the shoulder. Nick Demood, shoot everything low and try to get a good bounce on it when you're shooting on the net.
Yeah, and enough of the pretty passing and try to make that one-timer goal, specialist.
Oh, come
just
on.
put the shot.
Yeah.
Just put the shots on net on this guy, because that's the only way you're going to beat Nick DeMood. The reason why he's like a Nick Rose size-wise, but he's also a Zach Higgins movement. He's got that top, necessity. When he stands up, he blocks your path, of course. And like you said,
Big dude.
You shoot low and expect 5 holes galore. But the other than that, if you could just get him to side by side and not have him, staying in the middle of the net, you should have an easy night for you guys. But you got to get back to a rhythm where you have to make Nick move. If Nick doesn't move and he's got a clear shot, or at your whatever you got thrown at him, he's going to stop every time. So you got to make him move, and confuse him, get him out of his style, get him out of his game, and then that's the only way you're going to beat him.
Now, Philadelphia, if they're going to win this game, it's going to be because of an offensive explosion. They have one of the worst defenses in the National Lacrosse League, and guess what? If you're the Bandits, you should be licking your chops looking at this game, because you have all the tools. You really do. You have all the tools that you need in your arsenal to beat up one of the worst defenses in the game. You got Josh Byrne. You got Dane Smith. And by all accounts, they are apparently healthy. They're not missing any sort of playing time whatsoever. You got Clay Scanlon coming off of back-to-back games where he hasn't scored a goal. You got Kyle Buchanan, who went scoreless, pointless in Colorado. So long overdue for an offensive explosion. And why not kickstart and revamp that offensive explosion by beating the hell out of the worst defense in the National Lacrosse League? Because on the forward side, Phil Caputo, Blaze Reardon, and Joe Rezateritz. 1, 2, 3. And O'Neill is up there too. So if Philly's going to beat you, it's going to be because of their forwards and the way that they can attack Matt Vince. That's the only way. If you get outbodied and outmanned by the Philadelphia defense, you can pack it up for the season and go home. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But with that said, that's a pretty good segue into Buffalo, because when you have a bad defense that you're facing against, leaving your goaltender like Nick DeMuda out to dry a lot, you got to look at some forwards on the Buffalo Bandits side. And a guy that I need to return back to his normal self, Josh Byrne. We got to be watching out for this guy. Josh Byrne, and mark it right now. Call me a prophet when this happens, please.
Okay.
This is going to be the get-back game for Josh Byrne. This is the game where he gets his confidence back. This is the game where he scores multi-goals, gets over a hat trick, 3, 4, 5 goals, I want to say.
Okay.
And this is going to be the kickstart of Josh Byrne's season. We haven't seen the elite Byrne probably since the first game of the season against the Georgia Swarm. Here and there against Calgary, maybe. But mark it down right now, February 4th, 2026 at 8:38 p.m. This is the game where Josh Byrne turns his season around for the better, and he is going to have the best night of his young season so far.
I don't care if Josh Byrne scores all our goals. If he can get that confidence boost back and get his shot rhythm back like he is, that would be phenomenal. But to himself, he needs to stop hesitating when he sees an opening. When he's got that window open, take the shot. Don't even think. Just rip the shot on net. Let's get the loose ball and get it again, and just do it again. Just keep taking your opportunities when you see it. Don't hesitate. Don't try to look for the fancy pass. You see an opening, take the shot. That's all I got to say to Josh Byrne. Come on, man. You're due for a sock trick night. This could be it.
That's right. And he shoots all over the place. He can nail it top shelf. He can go low. And we've seen the air burn stuff. So he can shoot up close. He can shoot from far out. Yeah. This is going to be the night where he goes off on the stat sheet. Argue with the wall.
I sure hope so.
Yep.
Well, for my go-to guy, I want him to stay consistent like he did in Colorado, but just add a little bit more spice to his game. A little bit. He did good. I mean, usually we don't see him have 5 points in a game. But I'm talking about our good old number one, Nanakoke. Give him the ball. Let's see what he can do. He causes chaos in the middle. Let's see if he can get those goals in the high slot area. That's what I'd like to see out of Tehoka Nanakoke. And if he can get more than 5 points, I'm going to give him, like, say, 8 or 9 max. If he could do that, that would be fantastic for a good night of number one out there.
If we can see Tehoka get 4 goals and 4 assists, I'm perfectly happy.
Wonderful. That would be wonderful.
That's it. I mean, that might even be exceeding expectations, but it's kind of his night. Native American heritage. This is one of the most important nights for him and Clay Scanlon, as far as I'm concerned.
I was just about to say his name too. Yep.
You know that the Nanakoke family is going to be out and they're going to be loud in the stands. His family's going to be there. This is a night where he gets to rep his heritage. He's due for an explosive night. And throw on top of that, Tehoka Nanakoke has had a goal in every single game this season. So
sure has.
Why stop now? Totally.
That's right.
Why stop now? Someone who else is going to have a great night. Not just Josh Byrne, not just Tehoka Nanakoke, but another player to watch. He's got the Tragically Hip as his goal song. A guy that is due for a 4-goal, 5-goal night. Ian McKay. Watch out for this guy. I think we got to see a big night out of Ian McKay because when he starts potting in the goals, I feel like the whole team starts to rally around him. He's one of the ultimate hype guys on that team, and we saw it in the playoffs last year. When he was having multi-goal games, the entire team around him was having so much fun. It was, you knew, on the nights where Ian McKay was scoring at least a hat trick, the Bandits had the win in the bag. When he is lighting up the lamp, everybody else is too. And it's like that Brandon Bean stuff, right? That everybody eats mentality. When he gets on the score sheet multiple times, everybody else does too. So he might be the heartbeat of transition. He might be the heartbeat of the offense, but this is your reigning finals MVP, and we haven't seen an explosive night out of him in quite a while. So he is long overdue. Yeah,
Ian McKay, the jersey would speak for yourself if you score that amount of goals, especially the number on your back. So if he could go out there and play his MVP role that he did last season and get them 4 goals, I'd be happy with just a 4-goal night. It doesn't matter if you have any assists to go with it, but 4 goals would be great for me, especially with finding the rhythm and just, joining the rush, especially with transition or getting some of the offensive guys out there on the go. But Ian McKay does have that left-handed shot that we also want to see him score multiple goals, either top corner or even short side, that he's always been doing so well.
And can we also get a bounce back night out of Matt Vince, please? I mean, you know that the Philadelphia offense is going to strike, and it's going to strike more than once, more than twice, probably more than 5 times because of how high-powered that offense could be. And it doesn't look like it all the time. I think they lost to San Diego last weekend 13-7. I think the score was. They might have the worst defense in the league and subpar, inconsistent goaltending. That offense can still score 7 against a pretty damn good San Diego team. So a San Diego team where their goaltending and defense is not struggling, they still pot in 7. So I just thought I'd put that out there. But I think Matt Vince, this needs to be the get-back game for him as well. He's got a team that's really just hobbling into this barn, hobbling into the rest of the season. They're 1-6 for a reason. If there was a get-back game on the radar for Matt Vince, it has to be this one.
Yeah, certainly. Defense has got to be there to help him as well. It just can't be him alone.
Yeah.
But for Matt Vince to correct himself and with the loose shots going either through between the arms or just enough to squeak by the 5-hole or needing to just pick up a shoulder on each side where that ball's coming from. I mean, if you got to turn into like Dominic Hasek, you got to use your head, block it with your head if you got to. Butterfly stuff, I don't know, but you have got to find that youth in you because it looks like Colorado exploited your every weakness, especially for how much they have put numbers against you. But this is like
they exploited everyone.
Yes. So basically, what we're trying to say to you, Matt Vince, is take a deep breath and lock it down. You've done that so many times in your career. We know how good you are, even how old you are. Go out there and just do it for yourself, brother. I know you can turn this game around for yourself. And
not to mention the Bandits, since the Wings came back in the NLL from their expansion, the Bandits have had a great record against them. To be fair, Tony, I don't remember the last time they lost to the Philadelphia Wings, and I don't even know if I feel comfortable of saying that. I remember beating them in overtime. That was the closest that I've seen in a while between these two teams. The last time they played was 19-14 at the KeyBank Center. They smoked them big time in the 24 season on the road. I think later on.
I was there for that.
And over there at the Wells Fargo Center. So I don't know. I really don't know. But use those odds against you too. You guys know how to beat this team. You beat this team at nauseum. So go ahead and beat them. You know how to face against Dave Mood, and that defense is probably hobbling into this barn thinking, don't beat us too badly this week. With that said, though, I am curious to see if Zach Belcher is not a healthy scratch. He better not be.
Right.
We got to see a big physical guy on defense. As mentioned in the before episode of the Colorado recap, there's a lot of players that you could shove up in the press box this week, and I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to argue it. Zach Belcher should not be one of those players. Zach Belcher should be out there covering the Rezaterets, covering the O'Neills, covering the Reardons, all those guys. So he's a guy that can lay the body check. I want to see him out there no matter what. And I also want to see if Coltrane, if our friend of the show, Coltrane, is going to be activated before this week, because we saw he said that he broke his hand in the preseason, and the preseason was about 12, 13 weeks ago. So if that thing is fully healed, you get to see some fresh blood out there, and the Bandits, all of a sudden, that offense gets a little bit younger when you throw Coltrane Tyson in there. So I'd love to see him. I'd love to see Lucas Nielsen in the lineup too. Call me crazy. I'd love to see him out there. I want to see the youth. I want to see more youth. I love Ryan Benesh. I love all these guys, but let's be real. Last Saturday, they all looked old. Everybody looked old. So if we can bring in some youth here, get some speed, burn that Philadelphia defense that can only do good things for the Bandits. But I do think before we get into our keys to a Bandits victory, though, we got to go over a roster move that happened just today, just this afternoon. Elliot Moose is on the loose. Kyle Matisse, no longer a Buffalo Bandit. He was cut from the active roster, and Taylor Dooley was activated. In my honest opinion, Taylor Dooley, underrated defenseman and fresh blood on the defensive side of the team. But Steve Dietrich, kind of like what we hinted on the Colorado recap, he's getting sick of looking old. These guys that really can't hang around anymore. And Kyle Matisse, I think Matisse is just the first domino to fall. You know, I don't know if they're moving all these guys around, shuffling these guys like Ron John and shuffling Kyle Matisse because of a big impending trade. No one really knows for sure, but he's cooking something up his sleeve, and I wouldn't put it past Steve Dietrich if he is freeing up roster space, freeing up cap space to make a big, huge move at forward coming up in a potential trade. But Kyle Matisse is no longer on the Bandits.
Yeah, well, we had to say goodbye to number 24 and transition player Kyle Matisse. I think because, in my humble opinion, it's just like you stated. You know, the older you get, it's harder and fight for the game that you love, and for the contributions that we've had him on the team for the loose balls and to set up the plays for the offense. I mean, he's had an amazing career going from team to team, but especially being on the Buffalo Bandits. I mean, he's had the championship with them, especially from last year. But if Chugger saw something that he said, okay, I just can't anymore. So we just have to accept whatever decisions he's got to make. So if this was a sign of things to come for the other guys to be like, yo, if you can't produce, you're out the door. And that's okay. Because that's how usually, if you want to keep winning, that's what you got to do.
When your team is 3-4 and are in 10th in the unified standings out of 14th, you know that changes need to be made. And I think I just said it before, Kyle Matisse, I think that's the first domino to fall if this losing trend continues. But Taylor Dooley is activated, but 2025, forever a 2025 champion, Kyle Matisse is. Never forget that. He was always a part of the Bandits core. He's a part of the 2025 champion. He'll forever be a 2025 champion. So thank you for the contributions, but we'll see what happens in his future endeavors. We know that Mike Triolo was waived, Ron John was waived, and now Elliot Moose, Kyle Matisse is waived. So that's 3 different players that got cut in a span of 2 weeks. And this is just me speculating. I haven't heard anything, so don't even get it twisted. But I think he's cooking up something under his sleeve, trying to get all the assets and all the cap space he needs to make a big move on. And as far as a big move, I mean a big trade in the forward position. So I can totally see that happening. And I told you off air, Tony, my ultimate pipe dream trade targets would be either Lyle Thompson or Mitch Jones, but I know that none of those are likely to happen. But could you imagine if you saw Josh Dane, NK, and Lyle Thompson on the same team? Like, it would almost be unfair. But
that would be ridiculous.
Talk about your Chase Fraser, Chris Cloutier replacement there. I mean, are you out of your mind? Absolutely. But we thought we just mentioned that roster move as that happened literally this afternoon. But we got to get into our keys to a Bandits win. And I don't think we need to be too elaborate on this, but pepper the goalie.
Yeah.
The more times you pepper the goalie and you get shots on net, especially against this guy who has so many weaknesses, anything by his feet, he has a hard time stopping.
Yep.
No matter what, if you keep peppering this dude and getting shots off and not missing the net, taking smart shots, and by smart shots, I don't mean draining the shot clock down to a second and then taking a desperation shot, taking smart shots from all different times, you will break the drought of scoring 9 goals per game. You will score more than 10 goals a game. You will get well into the double digits if you just pepper this guy. So smart shots and take plenty of shots.
Yeah, you got to be consistent on, like we stated, it can't be just all about passing and making it pretty. It's not going to happen that way. You got to go in there and just shoot as much as possible. Last game against Colorado, you got outshot, outplayed, outkicked in the ass, basically saying. Go in there and just, like I said, make a statement and start outshooting your opponents again, finding the back of the net a little bit more easier, but make this goaltender really not want to play back in Buffalo ever again. Let him face so many shots that basically he's like Swiss cheese, and he allows everything to go by him. So get that boost back, keep peppering the goaltenders like Trevor said, and just don't let up off the gas pedal. For me, is every quarter play consistent. Like, don't just play one solid period or quarter, and then the next quarter you just say, nah,
laid back.
We got enough goals to take a lead and take a breather. Keep consistent on the matter. I don't care if you score 4 goals each quarter. That's 16. That'd be perfect.
Be great.
That would be undeniably perfect. You should win the game with 16 against Philadelphia, but be consistent each quarter. Don't just let up and expect to allow your opponents to come back this game. They shouldn't be able to. They shouldn't be able to breathe the way I would be playing pissed off and just attack, and be aggressive against their goaltender. What do you think, Trev?
Yeah, I mean, playing a full 60 has to be a huge key. How many times this season alone have we seen a good quarter here and then just nothing in the next quarter? Last time I really saw a complete game was probably either the Calgary or Las Vegas game over a month ago. And in those games, when you played a full 60, you scored 13 one game and you scored 15 another game. So when you play a full 60, the goals are going to come and the shots are going to come. So I think those kind of go hand in hand with each other. The other one that I'm thinking of is, I mean, it might sound cliche as hell, but play your style. You have the core. You have the tools. Play your style of Bandits lacrosse. How did you beat the Georgia Swarm? How did you beat the Calgary Roughnecks? How did you beat the Las Vegas Desert Dogs? You played Bandits lacrosse. Whatever the crap we saw in Rochester, that was not Bandits lacrosse. Ottawa, you played probably 20 solid minutes at most. And what happened? You ended up scoring 9 goals and you lost that game. You got to play your style. All the core is there. You have all the tools. You got to have the brains and the ability to carry it out. And against a team that's wounded like the Philadelphia Wings at 1-6, the blood's in the water. Go out there and play Bandits lacrosse. Play John Tavares lacrosse and never look back. If you win this game, know what's on the line too. You win this game, you're back in the top 8 of the standings likely. So take it a game at a time. You just got to win. Just play your style. How did you win the championship in 23 with all those injuries? You played Bandits lacrosse. 24 when you started off the season 5-6, you played Bandits lacrosse the rest of the way. 2025 was straight dominance in the first half of the season, and then when playoffs came around, you played Bandits lacrosse then, and you won the championship. You three-peated. Play Bandits lacrosse. The Philadelphia Wings They're a broken team, broken management, solid on offense, but everywhere else, C- or below. And I'm just putting that out there. There's a reason why they're 1-6. There's no excuse for the Bandits to lose this game. Zero. None.
Well, after that being said, basically, you know what? I just really hope everyone on our roster will contribute a point.
Yes.
That alone, Trevor, you know what that is? That's like 18 points right there. That should be your 18 goals fourth in that game. If everyone could contribute 1 goal per game, that would be perfect.
Do you remember 2024? The get back game, the one that set us up for like, okay, maybe these guys are turning it around. That was the Philadelphia road game around Easter. They scored 18 goals and they got their goal scoring back on track and they shook off all those demons that they once had. And then they went undefeated in the playoffs. Just putting that out there. Philly might just be the recipe for the get back game. And I want to read off some stats real quick. They both played 7 games, but read this and tell me that Philadelphia, should have a legit shot at beating the Bandits here. 65 goals scored, 86 goals against with a negative 21 goal differential. They average 9 goals a game, and they average giving up 12 per game. So if you do the math, they average a 12-9 loss every single game. When you look at the Bandit side of things, they have 78 goals for, so they have a much better offense, 82 against, very similar defensive and goaltending numbers, but I think a lot of that was credited to the 20 spot that was given up in Denver, Colorado. A negative 4 goal differential. They score 11 per game and they give up 11 per game. So we got some positives and we got some flaws there. At one point of the season, Matt Vince was holding them to about 8 goals per game, which was nuts. And then ever since that Rochester game, that goal differential average has been going up and up and up and up. Obviously, the 20 spot against Colorado did you no favors on any stat whatsoever, but you got a team in the Bandits with a negative 4 goal differential going up against a negative 21 goal differential. I mean, Philadelphia's got a good offense. A team with a good offense that has a negative 21 goal differential, that screams our defense is so fucking bad. Our goaltending is D+ level goaltending. You have the tools, and I sound like a broken record saying that, but Dane, Josh, McKay, Scanlon, Nanakoke, Weiss, Priolo, Nielsen, all these guys, you can beat them. Play your style. You can. And not just beat them, you can whoop their ass. I don't care how many goals Colorado scored last week. This might be a historically bad Philadelphia Wings team.
Yeah, please put the hammer down and just don't show no mercy to these guys. Just go out there and, bury them with a 20-goaler or bury them with a 30-goaler. I want to see, if we could see 30 goals this game, that's a massive wake-up call saying, okay, we got your confidence back. Let's get that scoring back up. My goodness.
Rival the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 2009 where the Bandits put up a 25 spot on the Toronto Rock. I remember that game.
That would be phenomenal to see that again.
That was awesome, but we got to get into our score predictions, and I'm a little bit more optimistic this week. I really am. This is not the Colorado Mammoth on the road. We're back in the KeyBank Center. Native American Heritage Night's a big night in the community, big night for the sport in general. Give me a Bandits victory. They're going to go 4-4, and they will beat the Philadelphia Wings by a final score of 13-9.
All right. Well, after looking about what the record-wise and, who's their go-to guys and, with the way how we were scoring and how they're scoring, this is, like you said, a must-win, but also a statement game. Means go out there, make a statement, put the pedal to the metal, hammer goods down, put a nail in the coffin for these guys and just put them to sleep forever. My prediction, Bandits go out as victors, and this is coming. I hope you guys do this. Please just prove me right. Bandits 17, Wings 8. I want to see a 9-goal plus deficit.
I will say this, though, Tony. If the Bandits go out and smoke them, they stomp them by 8, 9, 10, 11 goals. You know what I will say on this show? Don't care that we face against the Philadelphia Wings. This offense showed that they could hang. Still, championship's back on, or at least not. Maybe not championship, but deep postseason.
Their confidence is back on.
Their confidence could be back, but a deep postseason run could be on the horizon if they keep their heads above water. Right. To be able to four-peat, no other team in this league has ever done that. So you know how hard that is to do. But I mean, that Colorado game is still in the back of my mind. But if you go in there and whoop the Philadelphia ass, you go out there and you just smoke them, my confidence will be back tenfold in this offense. Like, you guys showed that you can do this. Let's do it on a more consistent basis now. But I'll stick with 13-9. I think the Bandits will take more of a gradual approach to their offense. They'll score maybe 13 here, 12 here, 15 here, and slowly but surely get that confidence back. Or it could be like what you're thinking. I remember 2024, they went in and they beat the Wings. They put up an 18 spot on them all out of nowhere. And everyone's like, oh, the Bandits are back. Here we are. Here we go. Just out of nowhere. So I don't know what this core is capable of. Part of me is like, because it's hard to make these score predictions because, to tell you the truth, through 7 games this year, I don't know what the Bandits' identity is. I don't think they truly know what their identity is. Right. But they were more of a smash mouth in your face team last year. 2024, they were more so of a finesse team. In 2023, they just caught a spark at the right time. Everybody was hurt, but they were still winning games. They were a team that never quit. The way that they play their games changes every single year. Last year was pedal to the metal smash mouth for most of the season and playoffs included. This year, it's more so like these heart attack type of games where they get close towards the end, and if the Bandits pull it out, great. But this is a bad Philadelphia team, and we don't want to take any team lightly here, but damn it, would it feel nice to see the Bandits completely blow a team out at home. I feel like that's been long overdue.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, especially with like how you mentioned about heart attack. Every game has got to be a heart attack for these guys, like kind of like watching the Buffalo Bills play in their season. So other than that, and especially with all the older players that we have, that's something we don't want to say.
Games as of late. Any of the Sabres games too, as of late. Too.
But that's what makes games exciting. But other than that, guys, go out there, make a statement. Go out there, play your game. Go out there and just have fun. Be thankful that you guys have each other and that you can just go out there and show Banditland, show the National Lacrosse League why you're the champs. 3 straight in a row. I still have the confidence that you get back there and make it a 4th, but I have to take it one game at a time. This is the start of the journey, what we have to do to finish the story. So go out there and do it.
Go out there and do it. Why not? I got to win. Tony's got to win. 4-4 should put you in probably 7th or 8th in the standings, and we'll just roll from there. Go into the gauntlet in a playoff spot. Do not go into this gauntlet outside looking in. We can't do it. But Tony, we got our score predictions and got our players to watch. The only thing that's missing is the sponsors.
All right. Banditland Boulevard is brought to you in part by Mitchell's Tavern, located at 734 Sheridan Drive up in Tonawanda, New York. If you guys haven't checked it out, we're telling you to go check it out. Trevor Hauer over there, myself, Tony LaMonica, is get to 734 Sheridan Drive in Tonawanda. They have the greatest beef and wick in town. They have amazing food, phenomenal service. You'll be treated like family. Also, if you guys are planning on your next trip or vacation, go and check out Herney's Journeys. Please contact Suzanne Pike at herneysjourneys.com. Let her book your next big adventure. And finally, we'd like to thank Nino's Pizzeria, located at 2 locations at 1737 Orchard Park Road in West Seneca and at 315 Buffalo Street in Hamburg. Guys, if you want to order your favorite pizza, wings, subs, fingers, you name it, as you like it, only in America. And for those watching us here live through YouTube and StreamYard, give us that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell every time we talk about the Buffalo Bandits lacrosse team. And for those just listening in on every tablet device or every device known to man, on your tablet, your phone, or the radio station on Spotify, give us that 5-star rating that we talk nothing but all good things about the Buffalo Bandits.
Do it. Go out there and win.
Just win.
What? And if you want to, smoke them. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad to go out there and beat these guys. I don't care. Just have the higher number. Let's go 4-4. Let's get back to 500. And let's go into this gauntlet either close to or in the playoff spot. Get our confidence back. Send them back to the city of brotherly love. at a 1-7 record.
Yep.
Native American Heritage Night in front of a sellout 19,070. Go out and do it because we know that you can.
Let's go get them, boys. Take one quarter at a time, and let's work our way to the final buzzer and just pound the Wings into submission.
Yes, let's eat the wings. Let's eat them. Muck some wings.
Who's hungry?
Pretend that they're a chicken wing and just start mucking them. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? But whether we win or lose, whether we go 4-4 or 3-5, whether we lose to one of the most historically bad teams in NLL history, or if we smoke them like a salmon, we end every show with these 3 words. And Tony, what are these 3 words?
As Chris Swenson always says to Buffalo Banditland, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Bandits. Let's go. Get back on track, boys. Let's do it.
Let's go.